Thank you very much, Laure. We are here for Fnatic versus EXCEL, our lower bracket final. It's going to be a.
Did you say EXCEL or XDD?
I said EXCEL.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we always starting with that. Put away your guns.
I mean, I watched from home yesterday. You know, all the Pedro
This
fans
is already
in
just
chat.
turned into the.
I'm excited with the boys.
With
Fun
the boys.
TriCast, the British boys. A bit of banter on this.
Bit of banter, yeah.
Yeah, but of course.
Actually, the second episode of the Medi podcast. Let's go. Okay,
I'm the host. I'm the host.
What's your real and the Medi podcast? What's your real name,
I'm the
Caedrel?
host.
You're the host.
Okay, you're the host. Go
you
ahead.
can try your best.
Are we starting the game soon?
Yeah, host it.
You have the button.
You do have the button.
Just press the button to start the game. We'll be ready.
Oh yeah, wait, I have to hack into the mainframe once.
Okay, yeah,
you guys do your thing.
Start
I'm the host
typing
though. You guys talk. I'm the
furiously.
host. Okay.
We're here for Fnatic versus
Good
EXCEL.
hacking.
Thank you for pressing the button, Caedrel. Let's get into draft. Game 1 of this best of 5.
So like you're washing in the rain, there's a lot on the line in this game. For Fnatic, they've already qualified for the season finals. EXCEL need to win to qualify for season finals themselves. We'll say season finals, the tournament after Summer Split in a couple of weeks' time, where we see which 4 teams will be sending to Worlds. If EXCEL fail to win this best of 5, Koi will be joining Mad Lions, G2, Fnatic, SK, and BDS as our top 6 teams fighting for those 4 world spots. Let's get into the draft though. Still at least 3 games to go before we see who manages to get that final spot. Xayah, Maokai, Tristana banned out by EXCEL, Kai'Sa and Jace removed so far by Fnatic.
LeBlanc and Rel, where is it going to go? Still the 2 champions you think of when you look at this draft. Sejuani could be another good one for Peach. And then the Ivern is something that you always have to keep track on when you're looking towards AD mids. We saw Yone from VTO, which seemed to work, but then eventually got one shot in team fight. So we'll see what other AD mids these junglers, these mid laners come up with. Is LeBlanc the last ban? No, it's the Rel. So LeBlanc first pick for EXCEL, pretty easy one if you think about it. Otherwise, unless there's something else they're thinking. I mean, Maokai, Rel is down. You could go for Sejuani, but I think this champion is just so strong in this patch, and Abbedagge has had great performance on it. And giving it to Humanoid, one of our best LeBlancs, is a mistake.
No surprise. I wonder if Varus will be a high priority in this series as well. We have been seeing it pop up. Whether or not Fnatic want to try and lock in their AD carry relatively early with Xayah and Kai'Sa already taken off the board. Of course, when we did see EXCEL play into G2, Kalista became a surprisingly high priority for Patrik. Not that I expect that to be immediately prioritized in this series, but of course the Rumble has been left open. Odoamne choosing not to go for it in the first rotation means that Oscarinin will take that one away, and it does look like the Varus will be locked in. So already a lot of range on the side of Fnatic.
I'd also be a little bit afraid if I was EXCEL of Poppy on 3 here, especially if they're looking at taking away something like the Rakan. So hopefully they keep their eyes on the jungler coming through on 3 for Fnatic. That's a possibility, especially if they're going to go for more dashes. Really good into the LeBlanc. Going to go for the Nautilus early, which is another champ that can do well into the LeBlanc. If Fnatic pick that up on 3, they can ban away things like the Braum, and I think limit on engaged supports is a must. I like the Alistar though. Still going to go for that Nautilus.
I do wonder where things like Sejuani fall on the priority list. LeBlanc, Sejuani, not the strongest mid-jungle, but Peach, we have seen his Viego here and there. Things like Lee Sin historically have also been very good, not that we see a lot of it in the current meta. Right now we see a bit of a cheeky hover on the Jhin, but it won't be. That Sejuani is actually going to be brought out. I wonder if this then increases the priority of the Renekton for EXCEL and something that Fnatic can look to ban away.
Having that melee alongside the Sejuani does make a lot of sense. Poppy here still a possibility. I believe you're going to say that Caedrel. Not as strong when you're not playing into the Rakan, but still works well into Sejuani and the Nautilus.
Yeah, I think Trundle is also good here. They can go Trundle, they can go Poppy, they can pick Braum as well if they want to counter support. They have so many options here on 3, and they can go Trundle. So I think out of those 3, yeah, understandable choice. Will do really well into the Nautilus. They will lack a little bit of CC for the LeBlanc, but now it's just a case of what support they can get on 4. I mean, there's nothing really left to counterpick for Fnatic, right? You see their mid support, you still need your mid support. You're not really going to flex the Rumble or the Trundle anywhere. So it's just about making sure you get your power picks while also denying the counters that you've shown. Maybe a Renekton ban, like you said, Vedi, could help out the top jungle against this Rumble.
Could also try and limit that AD carry pool just a little bit more. There's the Renekton ban. The Kai'Sa, Xayah, and Tristana already removed as well. Would be falling very far down for Patrik. The Kalista a possibility. I also like the Trundle. I was just going to say, because of the mixed damage threat from that top lane. When you have an AP top laner, you do want some physical damage to come from your jungle.
Yeah, I feel like the Kalista could be a pick, but into Trundle pillar, it's really hard to play team fights. Rumble ult, it's a bit of a pain. I think EXCEL probably looking at Draven or Aphelios for their AD carry. I don't think there's any other really options unless they want to go for Ashe, but I think they would lack a lot of damage.
I like the Rakan ban, taking that away from Trymbi. We know that it is his most successful engaged support. He has an insane win rate on it, something like 80+%. It's absolutely crazy, so no surprise to see that banned away from EXCEL. The Gnar also makes a lot of sense, being removed from Odoamne. I'm curious as to what direction he could even go now. Things like Cassante, maybe. But so far, I really like what Fnatic have drafted for themselves. The Azir actually going to be taken away from Humanoid. You know, ever since we did see him lose on it in the best of threes, it feels like that he's moved very far away from the champion. We did see a bit of Annie come out from him. And there we're going to see it once again. I wondered whether or not he wanted that immediate lockdown CC, and he's going to grab it. A fairly squishy composition overall from Fnatic, but a lot of damage at their disposal. A lot of trading power with the mid-jungle of Annie Trundle, and a lot of engaged tools and team fighting as well. As EXCEL looking now as to what AD carry they want to lock in.
Yeah, Draven kind of loses part of his safety as soon as you see an Annie locked in on the other side of the board. You are very susceptible to Annie just flash tibbering you, whereas something like the Ezreal would have the escape. Gwen for Odo in the top lane. Let's see where EXCEL go for their AD carry. I think Fnatic are lining up towards a possible Braum here on 5. Works well into the Nautilus, obviously, in the laning phase, but also gives them that little bit of extra protection and some of that tankiness that you were talking about, Vedi.
Ezreal, Nautilus. I feel like EXCEL's damage is a bit all over the place. They've got a lot of AP with an Ezreal now. But yeah, I think Braum would work. Alistar, as much as I think it's pretty good into the Gwen, into Ezreal, LeBlanc, I feel like your combos are just dodged around from way too easily. Thresh could be another one that they go for, but into Nautilus, it's a pain. I think Trymbi, Braum, easy pickup. So Fnatic, really good mid-game, really good engage, really good follow-up. Double AP solo laners against the Gwen is going to sting a little bit, though, in terms of itemization. But the Varus Braum should get the push. I think they have a lot of those pushing lanes to work with such a strong early-game jungler. EXCEL's comp, yeah, I feel like this Ezreal doesn't round it out very well. They've got decent poke with the Shiv, LeBlanc, and the Ezreal. Very heavy AP topside, though.
My initial impression is I prefer Fnatic's composition. I feel like that they just have more tools in the early game. They have answers to a lot of what EXCEL have drafted, and as you rightly said, their mid-game just feels so powerful that I'm curious as to how EXCEL are going to play it. When we think about late game, I think of Gwen on the side lane, who can really deal with her. I think about Ezreal and his range and the mobility that he has. You think about their poke in conjunction with another against what are effectively a lot of squishy targets on the other side. I think if EXCEL can play that patient game, can mitigate Fnatic's early aggression, they definitely have tools to be able to turn things around the later we get. But we've been seeing a lot of team fighting in Europe, and I feel like that Fnatic have understood the assignment and they're looking to fight EXCEL as often and as early as possible.
Coming off a win yesterday, it was relatively convincing versus Heretics. Fnatic definitely have the momentum as well. EXCEL, their last series on the stage was a loss to G2 in what could quite easily have been a win at a spot in the finals for them. A lot on the line as well for EXCEL. They have to win today to have any chance of qualifying for Worlds. Let's get it started, Fnatic EXCEL. And on to Summoner's Rift we go as Fnatic set up a level 1. Something we've seen them do so many times across the years here. Limit will be forced to wait. Vision can come down from Fnatic. Trymbi has a sweeper, will use it. Limit didn't use his awarding totem. It's one in the Tribush from Patrik, and Fnatic will realize there's no vision around here to be swept.
Braum Trundle, so powerful, level 1 next to the Varus, Halo Blades as well. I mean, they can take the spot side jungle if they want it. They're going to leave Oscarinin out to dry a little bit, though. If the Gwen can stack waves, they should have an easy dive access with an Aftershock Sejuani with the melee of Gwen. Double wards laid down. I think EXCEL would be a bit crazy to face check the spot side jungle, though. Just I think a walk up the Krugs and ward over the wall could suffice if they want to just make sure the Fnatic starting there. We'll see if Limit does that.
Abbedagge is hesitant, but the appearance of Humanoid will force Abbedagge back. He wants to try and ward. The sweeper will come in once again. I say once again. For the first time this game, rather.
That's the second one. Used it on the initial
Oh
invade
yeah, I
as well.
thought so. Yeah, I did think so.
I just heard Noah say if they fight this bush, they die.
Yeah.
and he pinged the tri-bush, so I think Fnatic are very confident just walking up here. Patrik knows that if they lose, so he's just going to throw a Q onto the Varus.
Manages to hit it. Patrik on the Ezreal, something that he has played across the course of his career in the LEC, but not something he's had too much success on. He's had 22 games on it. Any guesses at his win rate?
47%?
40, 38.
You're both way too confident in Patrik, it seems. 27% win rate all time for Patrik on the Ez.
Wow.
Obviously, you have to remember he has been on some teams that have struggled, so your win rate does tend to go down. Not always the best representation of whether a player is good or not.
Got it.
But he'll try and pump that up with a win today.
Yeah, Razork going to take away the bot side jungle. Peach took the Q level 2 and went over to the red. Does that die to the... Ooh, okay, got it. He's going to get level 3 off the Krugs, and then maybe he's going to look for something around top, perhaps. I think on this split map situation, Oscar needs to be really safe and let the waves come into him. Razork's actually crossing. He's not doing his bot camps. He knows that Peach is on his red, and he's crossing up towards his top side. Could be a possible collapse on the jungler of EXCEL, but Peach smartly going to take a reset.
The impression I got was Razork wants to cover for the attack up towards the top lane, but with the push from Oscarinin, Razork is just going to be like, oh, very nice trade.
Oscarin's just winning this. He goes overcharged. Noda has to flash and dash away. Odo just under-respecting Oscarinin there on the Rumble.
Odoamne is the Rumble player.
Yep.
You know, you would expect him to be able to recognize that damage output, and the overheat from Oscarinin was so high. Caught him completely off guard, forced the flash early, but now Peach on the bot side.
Oh, and a bit flashed forward for the root. Noah does have the heal in the flash. Knock back from Peach. They look for Noah first, and first blood to EXCEL. Trymbi flashes out of the range of the dredge line.
There's no cleanse on Noah, and he's playing against Sejuani, Braum, so the second any of the passives land, if they can get any follow-up from Patrik, he can't really flash. There's no point. He's going to get stunned anyway. Ends up saving his summoner as Trymbi loses his, as he would have got hooked and die. But yeah, first blood to Patrik on the Ezreal. Great start for EXCEL.
Yeah, I mean, just great adaptation from Peach as well. Typical expectations are when you do this split map, you can look for an early gank towards the top lane as well. Razork moved from bot into top to cover for that gank, but by spending that time, it meant that Peach just choosing to go back to base could actually make his way towards bot lane, and here he is. Fnatic were not expecting this play at all. The flash in from Limit to not lock down Noah, and Peach flashing in catches him completely by surprise.
Yeah, if the Varus flashes, he's got 4 stacks, so 3 stacks on him, 1 more auto, it procs from either Sejuani or Naught. No cleanse, but Humanoid. What's the chain?
Away, the chain connects still, and Humanoid will fall. The ethereal chain's enough from Abbedagge to get EXCEL their second kill of the game.
Very, very clean there from Humanoid, from Abbedagge, sorry. Waiting for the flash from Humanoid to make sure that he lands it. I think he kind of has to flash there, Humanoid, no matter what. He's just slowed by the Sejuani otherwise, so nice patience there. Did Limit get spotted by that wall? I think he must have. Trymbi's covering this area, but yeah, I'm not so sure if that spotted out the Nautilus.
Great awareness from both supports right now to cover the top side of the map, while junglers are busy doing stuff, but off the back of that, that's 2 kills that Peach has been able to make happen, and once again, we're seeing some of this early game impact come out from Peach. We saw him have a fantastic early game performance throughout the group stages and playoffs, and it seems that he's looking to maintain that form, and what a contrast compared to when he joined the league. A player that was known for his power farming in the ERLs, very much played for himself, has become a lot more involved with EXCEL's early game.
Doing a great job. You can see his team proximity there. That's how much time he spends around his team in the early game. Very low for a jungler, 7th in the league, but he's so effective at using that time to get his team ahead. We'll have another look at how he does it here.
Yeah, slowed by the red buff there in the W, so decides to flash, otherwise 1 more auto again, procs passive. But Abbedagge waits and lands the chain on the flash, and
wow. Okay, observers, that's what today's going to be like, okay? Didn't realize he needed to relive some childhood trauma this early in the afternoon, but there we go.
And he dies.
Yep, and he did die. We'll see if Humanoid can avoid future ganks without a flash. LeBlanc is a very lethal mid laner, now at the level 6 for Abbedagge. With the push that they have in mid and the push they have in bot, this does open up the dragon as well. EXCEL looking to secure that, and so far this early game is looking good. Fnatic don't want to fight.
Humanoid's going to get chained up here once again, though, down towards the bottom side. Patrik trying to escape from Razork, who doesn't land a smite. Peach gets it. First dragon of the game over to EXCEL. Trymbi looking for more, but no flash on him means he can't close that gap, and EXCEL get away with a bit of highway robbery.
Yeah, I mean, Fnatic were a little late to the play. Honestly, I think EXCEL were in a better position to be able to start that objective. Abbedagge removing Humanoid from getting involved, I think, was super important as well, given that he did have the ultimate available. Limits. Bit of an ambitious play.
You looked at how many minions there were. It's like, Limit, what are you doing, man?
I think maybe, did he try to like dematch or get Abbedagge to kill one of them so he could hook through? I don't know.
It's like wanted bend the bullet levels of trying to get your...
But hey, ultimately he does help Abbedagge get this wave underneath the tower, and I imagine Abbedagge is going to look to base Humanoid. Will he freeze it here? It looks like he's unlikely to do so. I mean, it's not really going to freeze in this position. Humanoid doesn't have the TP, but Abbedagge does. He's actually looking for a roam towards top.
I think he's getting the plant to heal up. It was on the top side of the map. Yeah, honey fruit to heal up.
So he's going to stick around. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of gold, I imagine, but TP's available, and he probably wants to get more and more gold. Maybe Static Shiv on this next base, the TP back would be ideal.
Only sitting at 750 right now in his pockets, so does want to get a little bit more, as you say, Caedrel. Razork looking for something around this mid lane. Not spotted on vision as of yet. Humanoid's going to land a stun there with the Tibbers. Abbedagge is going to be forced to jump away, and does exactly that. The Tibbers pressure play is one we have seen many times across the course of 2023. And Humanoid not really expecting to get a kill there against someone as slippery as LeBlanc.
Yeah, I mean,
50 gold on the Tibbers.
It's the same as the Nexus.
True.
Tibbers is worth a Nexus?
Yep.
Apparently so. Better than the Dragon is worth a Nexus that we see many teams do.
Nexus not hitting inflation like housing prices are at the moment, you know. Invest in your Nexuses today. Keeping my eye on Odoamne though as he moves into the river. Herald now going to be started by EXCEL. Base from Abbedagge hasn't completed the static just yet. We'll return to the mid lane with the TP, help push out this wave. Humanoid had to base too, so he's going to be a little bit later to the play. Trymbi making his way up the river.
Watch Odo.
I mean, it's such a greedy fight for Fnatic if they take it. You've got no Tibbers. Limit the first one to move here. Razork's going to get chained up by Abbedagge. Equalizer being used by Oscarinin. He has to flash away from the needlework, and Fnatic look for something, but once again, just way too late to the party.
Yeah, they're late to both these neutrals now. They just watched EXCEL take them, and there's no cross map available. See if Noah takes the 1v1 against Patrik here on the bot side.
Chain of Corruption cleansed immediately. Patrik can walk back to the safety of his tower.
Nice trade from Noah, but I will say huge credit to EXCEL. It's just their lane states have given them optimal setups to start off these objectives, and they've been able to secure both of them. Fnatic arriving late is just EXCEL recognizing the map state quicker and being able to take advantage.
I think those lane states are mainly just mid, to be honest. I think bot they're getting pushed in against the Braum. Odoamne was struggling in the 1v1 against Oscar, but Abbedagge is always first to sides, and I feel like Humanoid is just kind of stuck under his tower. He has the flash up now, so maybe he can force his way into these side lanes, but the Trundle can't really impact the LeBlanc or push her back. We saw a gank mid with the Tibbers. He just clears the wave, TP's back, and now there's no pressure again.
Well, I think it was after Humanoid died, he's then forced to TP earlier than Abbedagge is. In the moment that they push in that wave and reset, Abbedagge can cheat by going back to base, TPing back into lane. They brought Limit into mid as well, and they used that prior to then moving to the top side river. So I think that off the back of that single kill, they were able to convert it pretty effectively. Ultimate from Humanoids.
Abbedagge should be able to walk away from this one. Once again, the Tibbers applying pressure, but not really too much more. Limit and Patrik working their way up towards the mid lane here as they manage to get the push in that bot wave. For the moment though, not much doing. With a minute on the Drake, expect to see resets coming out. And that vision control gained once again. EXCEL have actually been really good at securing these neutral objectives though throughout the course of groups. You can see 65% of all dragons in games are taken by them. In 40% of their games, they get a soul as well, which is incredibly impressive. Across the board, their ability to either sneak or have more players around an objective to take it is top-notch at the moment.
Peach looking for a gank in top lane. Oscarinin, no flash. Remember, does have the equalizer in 5 seconds.
He's dead, isn't he?
I think he might be. The needleworks come out, and usually needles are curative, but here they're causing more harm than anything else. Oscarinin used the equalizer on the wave to make sure he's not going to lose any plates off this. TP now invested down towards the bottom lane. Limit lands the hook. No one under tower yet as Razork's the first to tank it. Subjugate coming out as well. The Chain of Corruption is going to hit on Patrik, but he dodges away from the side of it. Limit's already down. Abbedagge now coming in to join the fight, but it's 2v4 once again. Abbedagge dashes in. No spells really left as Trymbi flashes forward. No one tanking the tower yet, but Patrik one, and Abbedagge is going to answer with 2. Patrik falls, and they're looking for another as he gets his second. The Euro chain's going to land on Razork now, and it's a disaster for Fnatic, and absolute elation for EXCEL in the bottom lane.
That is an ace at 11 minutes for EXCEL. Phenomenal response from the EXCEL bot lane. EXCEL and Patrik Patrik and Limit rather with the outplay.
Yeah, Patrik was the one that really smurfed this, didn't he? Limit's tanking the damage, dodges the chains of corruption, dodges the Q, sorry, and then ease away from the chains of corruption. And I think the flash reaction was great from Patrik here. Fnatic, I'm not sure why they're not just walking up and committing. Maybe they're scared of the LeBlanc, but she's already used her combo. Q flash, instantly flashed away from, no pillar. Patrik reaction was great there. Just does all the damage, and Trymbi knows he can trade one back. Gets as much damage down while he's being focused. Tower shot comes in, and then it's Abbedagge that saves his chain towards the end here to land it onto Razork to make sure with that static shift from base that he can just auto-attack him down.
I mean, you can see the idea from Fnatic, cross-map, the fact that Peach is ganking in the top lane, commit the TP advantage that you have over the enemy mid. But the fact that Patrik and Limit could buy so much time to allow Abbedagge to get that roam, the static shiv damage hitting onto all 4 members, just beautifully played from EXCEL. Now they have a 2.5k gold lead 12 minutes in.
Oscar, no flash still, I think. That could be a kill for Peach.
Glacial Prism comes in, might try and gift it to Odo, can't quite do it. The flail comes forth, and Peach gets on the ball.
Still have the Herald, don't they? They could pop it top. That's exactly what they're going to do. I think it was running out there towards the end from Peach, Jungler of EXCEL. So Herald should crash. No TP on Oscar just yet. It's coming up in 3 seconds. I don't think they'll get many plates, really. Just 1.5 at best, perhaps 2 for Odo, and then they'll back off. But I think the damage is already done in this top matchup. Oscar was able to push him back early here against Odoamne, getting his flash level 4, level 5. But now I think this matchup's going to sway so heavily in the Gwen's favor, as I think Odo might be able to pick up the Rift Maker in base.
What a glow up from EXCEL.
Yep.
You know, 10th to top 3, fighting for a spot in the season finals. The organization does not have a good history. Not that long ago, we were talking about how this organization had never made playoffs. And now they may very well be making their first finals. They will need to take down Fnatic 3 times. And if they do that, they will lock a spot in the season finals as well and have an opportunity to represent Europe at this year's World Championship. Of course, only the first game of many, but wow. What an incredible start and what a statement EXCEL are already making in this game 1.
And so much on the line for them as well. Very important you come out swinging in game 1 of a series like this. LeBlanc getting through, I think, is a little bit of a surprise when it comes to picks and bans. Has been banned in 100% of EXCEL's games across the course of playoffs so far. They have banned it in some of them, usually that red side ban, but Fnatic thinking they could deal with it. Here now, Abbedagge sitting at 4-0-1 with a 2.2k gold lead in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think this LeBlanc is a huge problem already. I think yesterday, though, Fnatic's adaptation in the drafts against Heretics was really good.
Yeah,
the way they read how the series was going. As much as there's always a meta, and there's meta picks, there's series picks as well. And I think they realized quite quickly what the series picks were. And I think LeBlanc could be one of them already coming out the gate here. Instant denial if they go blue side next game. So they won't be thinking about that just yet. It's not completely doomed. 2 minutes 30 seconds on the Dragon. Mountain Soul will be very powerful for EXCEL up against things like the Annie and the Poke Varus, which will basically do nothing against the Mountain Soul, right? You'll basically get the shield off and be back before you can land it again. Well, tier 1 might go down here soon as Abbedagge is playing in isolation. EXCEL picking up their 4th neutral objective of the game, the Rift Herald, and Fnatic just kind of have to sit and wait. They need more items to be able to fight back here. Not even got the first item onto Rumble yet.
We talked about the scaling though. I do like EXCEL scaling in this game. Gwen on a side lane. Who's really going to deal with her? Maybe if Trundle got late enough, maybe. But like, the Gwen is going to be an absolute monster. And then you've got the same problem with the LeBlanc on the other side. They just have so much side lane threat. LeBlanc can just keep pushing these waves, as you are witnessing right now. And EXCEL can just kind of keep playing the map 1-3-1. Ezreal very safe in the mid lane. And so EXCEL have all the map control right now.
All of that off their early game, obviously getting them 4,500 gold ahead. Fnatic trying to find a way back into this. They do have some strong team fighting. The Rumble ultimate with the Equalizer, and then obviously the Annie Tibbers Chain of Corruption. A lot of CC layering for them if they can find a fight like that. But EXCEL don't seem willing to give it to them. They are now pushing forward into that blue side jungle, gaining vision control because the 3rd dragon of the game is up in a minute's time.
EXCEL have so many options with this map state. When you have 3 pushing lanes, Herald mid, expected to come out a little bit later, but that should be a dead tower within the next couple waves. Fnatic can use as much as they want to defend, but Abbedagge has bot push to collapse. They can even base with the LeBlanc with this much pressure and run top and shadow Odoamne, kill the Rumble, take a tower, TP in for Drake. They can do literally anything, but it looks like they're just going to hold this bot push and keep sieging down mid. There's no real response from Fnatic on mid or on bot. Top's the only real even lane state, but it's only Oscar clearing out wave. So the second you put one number up there from EXCEL, that tower is gone as well. So I think in the next couple minutes we'll see Dragon fall for EXCEL. We'll see mid and top tower fall for EXCEL, unless Fnatic can find some kind of fight. No TP on Oscar just yet though.
Wow. Flawless play so far from EXCEL. Very patient, taking their time. They don't need to overforce anything. They know that by moving slowly and calmly around the map, moving their vision, they've moved their vision to the bot side, getting ready for the dragon. Fnatic now contesting this mid wave as Razork fishes a little bit in the bot river to gain some information.
TP behind.
From LeBlanc. Oscar still no TP on him. Abbott spotted on the far side automation. Razork now needs to flash away. Glacial Prism was homing in on the back of that Trundle, but the flash does mean he's not CC'd for now. However, Big Summoner burnt for the next fight.
Fnatic can't cross-map top. Odoamne's keeping top waves in, and maybe they're going to try and find a way into this dragon. Oscar will need to reset if they want to fight this, because he's going to have to TP in with at least an item. There's a TP from Odo. I think they might just give now. Let top push out, give the dragon, let them have solo point, but I'll wait to see what Oscar does, because I feel like Fnatic really want to fight this with the items they have. It's a bit risky.
Each on the front line, there's the hook. Unbreakable eats up the True Shot Barrage. Step charge on the back line, limit very low already, but Abbedagge trying to get the damage down on the back of the fight. Now Patrik touching across the wall. Already one down as Trymbi falls. Razork short to follow, but the subjugate and the chomp heal him up just enough. Oscarinin no left to the wolves as EXCEL descend.
Wow, another one-sided team fight coming out from EXCEL as they find 2 kills and push Fnatic back. An easy dragon secure as the engage starts onto Trymbi, but then the ultimate from Limit kind of connects onto Razork. Abbedagge is going to find a good fight. Keep your eyes on the LeBlanc here. Goes over the wall, attacks the backline. The entire backline melts. Odoamne with the ultimate too. Tears Fnatic apart. And while Oscarinin does what he can to try and get something back, Fnatic just can't find any kills.
Limit used the hook there to KS at the end. Cheeky support. So yeah, 2 fall. A lot of summoners burnt by Fnatic though. They have no flashes left whatsoever. Look at EXCEL. It was only Odo and Limit that had to flash there, so this game is going to be horrific the later it goes, it feels like, because now with these flashes down and Baron up in 140, I feel like EXCEL can force it if they want. They don't have TP on the Gwen, but when it comes to turn potential, no cleanse, no way out of CC, no Merc Treads on the support or the Rumble. As soon as they look for turns, they should find easy kills. Now, EXCEL sends some things up here. The river is dark, no one's showing on lanes, there's pings on midwave, Abbedagge wants to catch top.
Ward.
Yeah, recently placed ward. There's a lot of signs that if you're a detective, you'll think that someone's been here. Oh. But we'll
Elementary, my dear Kate.
Abbedagge falls for it. Abbedagge just kills Humanoid.
Chain's gonna connect, not quite enough damage to kill off Humanoid. 4 members of Fnatic appear from the bush. The True Shot Barrage eaten by the Unbreakable, but Abbedagge looking for a little bit more as Peach goes in. Glacial Prison hits onto Razork, and now Fnatic trying to retreat, trying to find some semblance of safety here, but really, EXCEL are just shooting them like fish in a barrel. The tower holds the line for Fnatic for now, but it was they who were looking for the fight, and EXCEL who bit off their hand at the chance for Odoamne.
I think they were hoping for a LeBlanc face check there. Abbedagge goes for top wave. Varus will Braum's passive proc. They get the shutdown onto LeBlanc, then they get a top tower, right? That would have been a huge breakthrough of the game to actually start to even it up. But yeah, Abbedagge reads it well, goes through lane, plays it safe, and then the collapse comes through. Top tower is going to fall. Red buff taken away, top jungle taken away. Noah almost got the snipe.
What was crazy in that last fight was Abbedagge, he kept trying to proc the static shiv to actually get that execute onto a Humanoid on the backline. Then the lock-in actually came out from Trymbi to keep him alive. And there are a couple of very close instances where Abbedagge almost got that execute without even being in range of hitting Humanoid. Nearly hitting level 14 on the LeBlanc right now. An incredible game for Abbedagge. 10-2 is the kill score, a 7k gold lead for EXCEL. We're 20 minutes in, and this has just been a one-sided stomp. EXCEL have looked dominant. And you know, there were question marks. Was EXCEL looking better because maybe G2 is having a bad series? Fnatic has looked good. Surely they should come in as favorites coming into this matchup. And EXCEL very quickly silencing some of those doubters here in game 1.
I think a lot of credit has to be given to Hidon as well, coming in alongside this team. Obviously the players are the ones that do it on the day, but the coaching staff and the change that's happened for EXCEL over the last couple of months has been exceptional, to say the least. Peach now stealing away his Razor Beaks. Razork looking for something. Peach 2 levels up in the jungle now. Basically, like exactly 2 levels. Razork's only half the way to 11. Peach, I mean, we'll say a 10th of the way to 12. So Fnatic just really don't have control over anywhere on the map. Only superficial vision for them in their own jungle.
Yeah, Summoner's slowly coming back up, so actually face checking this top side is becoming a bit easier. Their only problem is 1 minute 40 seconds on that Dragon spawn. Should be Mountain Soul for EXCEL. Fnatic, the worst part about all of this is they don't have the damage to get a Baron down if they want to sneak it while EXCEL go to Dragon. I think they're just going to have to match. And there is a world where EXCEL decide, you know what, we'll go Baron, you guys can have the Dragon, but in that world is very unlikely. EXCEL are so far ahead that they should be able to control both sides of this river. You can see where Humanoid and Oscar are standing right now, catching waves on their tier 2s. Noah is standing in his tier 2 as well, waiting for the waves to come in. They own the entire map right now, EXCEL, so I don't think they will want to give up any of these objectives. And it's just a case of whether Fnatic can get enough items to just fight in the next minute. Banshees looks like it's being built up for Oscar. Void Staff not too far away for Humanoid, but I've got one fight left really, it feels like.
Yeah, it's not looking good, Caedrel. It is not looking good for Fnatic at all. EXCEL slowly moving a bit of their vision towards the top side of the map as Abbedagge continues to apply pressure. Odoamne doing the same thing down bot lane. You can see him stealing away that blue buff earlier, but continues to push in. Oscarinin gonna struggle now to really hold him in line. Patrik pretty much throws his ultimate off on cooldown. And yeah, again, like you can see how difficult it is for Fnatic to really get any sort of vision in this bot river. Observes, if you could highlight what Fnatic can see right now, they can see a little bit, but a bot side of the map is slowly being plunged even deeper into darkness. Patrik's going to keep that push in mid. Limit hiding in the fog of war. And with 13 seconds on the Dragon, EXCEL looking to secure that one.
Yeah, Limit and Patrik can just act as bouncers in the jungle here alongside Peach. Odo can take that Dragon by himself. Peach a little bit overextended, but can dash across the board. The Glacial Fissure now used by Trymbi. And EXCEL can turn their attentions over to the Dragon.
They still kind of have to fight. No Braum ults. That kind of sucks for Fnatic, but at least hope for a steal from Razork. 1 or 2 kills would be great for them.
Flash, Tibbers, stopwatch coming out from Limit as he tries to survive. Camping now up towards the top side, and Humanoid's already down, and Abbedagge is dashing in. And Fnatic walks straight into their deaths, an early grave for them as Razork tries to get away, but he's shut out. Managed to pick up a double kill, but for it he loses his life and the Mountain Soul.
And he loses 3 more members of Fnatic as well. Only Oscar lives and lives to tell the tale. I think EXCEL should easily be able to pick up this Dragon. You can see it on screen, and they'll move towards the Baron as well shortly afterwards. 15 seconds on Humanoid. They could play it safe and wait for respawns and just look for more vision topside and turn, but you can see Fnatic flashing onto the Nautilus here, just trying to get the kill, but he has stopwatch. Such a shame for Fnatic. If they could just get that kill and then regroup and escape through a choke and reset, that would have been great, but yeah, the chase potential from EXCEL is so good with the LeBlanc and Ezreal, so much gap closed. The equalizer barely hits onto anyone, and lucky for them, Razork finds the kill onto Limit finally.
Yeah, like, the problem with kind of this more lethality Noah build is there was no opportunity to get any of the poke down. They just tried to force a fight when they felt like they had a numbers advantage, and the turn from EXCEL was just too quick, too clean, and now they have the soul. They can make their way towards the Baron. No need to rush things, no need to get overzealous. The Baron will make ending this game that much easier. Once again, a convincing performance here in Game 1 from EXCEL.
8,000 gold lead at 24 minutes is pretty darn convincing to me. I'm buying what EXCEL are selling right now, as Fnatic are buying the bad end of the stick, it seems. Only managed to pick up 4 kills through this entire game, not even taking down a tower, not taking any of the neutral objectives. EXCEL have had total control, and a lot of it has been off the back of Peach just constantly being in the enemy jungle, and he's doing it once again. It's a 4v3 right now in favor of Fnatic, and Limit will fall first. The Tibbers coming down, and Patrik's going to have to deal with that. Peach perhaps a little over eager, but Abbedagge now on the flank looking for the damage. Dashes back onto Noah, who's down to 300 HP, and somehow manages to survive. A good equalizer position, but no damage to back it up. It feels from Oscarinin. Patrik flashing forward, and all of Fnatic turn immediately onto him, and Patrik went a little bit too deep there for EXCEL. Abbedagge now trying to rescue the situation, salvage something from this fight that Peach elected to take, and Odo's there to join him. They find another, and now Fnatic have to back away towards their inhibitor.
A bit of an overextension there from EXCEL. They're able to make it work. They find 2 for 2, but trying to force these fights feels a little unnecessary for EXCEL. It was Limit that kind of, well, Peach is the one that starts things off as Fnatic immediately collapse on the Limit.
Fnatic is the mid jungle together, trying to escape, but I think on this choke area, it's so good for Fnatic with the Braum to just change to see up the Nautilus with no stopwatch. The Varus follows up. Good damage takes down Limit, but it's Abbedagge that gets the tower to stop the TP from Oscar, which means that the situation doesn't improve for Fnatic. If they could get that Rumble in earlier, that would have been great for them, but Razork's trying to stop this Baron from going down.
And he's going to have to try and stop his health bar from blinking so rapidly. Manages to get the Subjugate off the Ignite, not quite going to be enough damage. Now EXCEL turn their attentions over to Trymbi, the True Shot Barrage, the True Shot Barrage. Not quite lines up, but Noah feels the bad end of it as he falls. Odo now chasing Humanoid back, will stun him up. Razork's going to join the party here. Subjugate's back in. Limit looking for the Hex Slash hook across the wall here as Oscarinin joins the fight. The Glacial Prism hits onto Humanoid underneath the tower. He will fall. Razork next up on the menu for EXCEL. If they can keep chomping through Fnatic, maybe they can chomp through the rest of this Trundle's health bar. They'll take him. Abbedagge goes legendary, and Fnatic forced to run away.
Fnatic just don't have the damage to answer back in return for these kills. Everyone from EXCEL escapes alive. Abbedagge will base TP in, top tier 2 will fall, and so will the Baron. This LeBlanc is causing so many problems for Fnatic. They don't actually have the lockdown to stop Abbedagge from weaving in and out of these fights. And let's not forget, it was the LeBlanc for Abbedagge that won them their series against SK the second time around. Had an amazing game. It's been banned ever since. And we'll see it again. Razork knows that the Baron's going down, forces his way in. TP comes out from Humanoid on the back end of this fight, but you can see his team is kind of left to die. There's nothing really he can do there. Humanoid coming around on that flank, he would just fall as well.
Yeah, it's a one-sided stomp from the side of EXCEL. Fnatic, basically only desperation plays left. We're going to see the cleanup of the rest of this fight, but Razork finally gets that subjugate back. But EXCEL are just playing with their food at this point. Humanoids.
Oh, red buff?
No, not enough. 4 members of Fnatic having to deal with Humanoid as the rest of EXCEL can look towards the other lanes. Patrik and Limit going up towards top side. It's going to be Odoamne pushing in mid, and we might see a bit of a 2-1-2, 2-2-1 here from Fnatic. Actually looks like Limit's coming towards mid, so it is a 1-3-1, just with Patrik on the side lane, which is not always the configuration you see from these teams.
Yeah, a lot of ones, but it's a 14k gold lead. So I think EXCEL should be alright. Noah's basically dead. Humanoid's almost dead. Elder's up in 40 seconds though. If Fnatic can regroup and just run headfirst into this Elder Dragon Pit, maybe they can find a fight. But yeah, I think EXCEL will keep them underneath their Nexus towers. Ultimate from Patrik! Noah.
Nice heal reaction there from Noah. Gets him to safety. But now the siege will begin from EXCEL. Re-engage from Fnatic.
Flash, Tibbers only onto the 2 tanks though. Limit is low, concussive blows not quite procced on him as Peach is now the front line. The Equalizer coming in across the wall as Limit tries to get away, hooks himself back in. And Abbedagge finds the perfect flank.
Oh gosh.
He distorts them out of existence, and now Noah will join his teammates in the grave. A quadra for Abbedagge to wrap it up as EXCEL make quick work of Fnatic.
13-0-6 this LeBlanc. Abbedagge single-handedly just one-shot 4 members of Fnatic in a couple of spells. That's going to be banned for the next game. Maybe Fnatic want to go blue side and Humanoid can show them how it's done as well with the LeBlanc. But yeah, Abbedagge's LeBlanc so far in these playoffs has been exceptional, and I'll hold my breath for now when it comes to Fnatic. I mean, we saw a similar thing happen with G2 EXCEL in Game 1, where you think that this series could be a one-sided 3-0 stomp. But it's Game 2 really where the teams that lose need to come alive. If they drop the ball there, it's almost pretty much gone really. It's hard to come back on a blue side loss.
I feel like it was that cross map for Fnatic where things really fell apart.
The top dive into the 4 people all dying.
When Peach went to gank top and then Fnatic TP cross map to try and attack the bot side of the map, I think that the idea was very good, but the fact that Limit and Patrik were able to buy so much time, and then Abbedagge getting a triple kill off the back of that as well, just snowballed him out of control. And, well, Fnatic could never find a single good fight. I mean, it was near enough, if it weren't for the kills, you know, by our definition of a perfect game, it was like they didn't drop a single objective, no towers lost, no dragons, no heralds, no barons. They only dropped kills in that entire game. It was a complete stomp from EXCEL.
Absolute shellacking from them. We're going to hear more from the analysts about how they break down that game, but I think it's just going to be EXCEL were pretty good.
Yeah, thank you, Medic. That was a stomp. That was a real stomp on the side of EXCEL here. But EXCEL fans, don't get too excited. We saw the same thing with Fnatic yesterday. But before we get there, I want to talk about the draft, because one of the main talking points we had going into Reddit check was what kind of OPs should be prioritized, what should be banned. I think here that's it goes with what we predicted with the Jays getting out. But what do you think of the damage distribution and the pick priority on both sides?
Well, I think that it may seem weird at first with a Maokai ban here as well, but it clearly spoke to the fact that they were actually willing to go in for this LeBlanc, and then they actually had the Gwen in the back. Not necessarily as a hard counter, because the laning phase did still seem hard for the Gwen, but it most certainly outscaled it later on the side lane. And I think that was one of the few Sejuanis we saw from Peach that actually worked on EXCEL sides. Often when we see the Sejuani specifically into the Trundle here in Europe, the Trundle has come out on top every single time, but not this time.
Yeah, it was quite interesting as well, because I feel like Fnatic kind of had the setup to really abused that specific kind of dynamic as well with, you know, such strong lane and setup around basically anywhere Trundle wants to walk. He should realistically win a 2v2 or a 3v3, right? So it was definitely quite interesting that, for me, the fact that Peach was able to kind of make plays pretty much undisturbed. I feel mostly apart because of the way that the map split ended up playing out in the first maybe 6 or 7 minutes of the game.
But then Peach was just on the ball in the early game. Like, he made the most of this Sejuani. And if you were watching the show yesterday, you heard our complaints about this champion that most people don't utilize the early game. Peach was most certainly utilizing it this time around. And it wasn't just up towards the top side where it could have been nice to proc the passive. It was everywhere on the map. And they were very good at syncing up. In this specific play, Oscar had already lost his flash just 1 minute earlier. Very annoying lane state for Oscar. Just Peach up here quickly to punish.
Yeah, it feels almost kind of illegal in a way that he had that much access to every single lane. Considering again the setup that Fnatic have, and I feel like this is the big turning point for the game as well, because this is maybe where, you know, Fnatic can come into it. This cross map looks pretty good considering what just happened on the top side.
Exactly.
Abbedagge gets this roam down and turns it into absolute mayhem again. You know, great play from Patrik as well.
Comes to execution, I feel.
Yeah, but there you, for example, see Winter's Bite and Trundle Pillar come down at the same time, so the communication from Fnatic under that dive there is not fully set up either. And I think most of us was probably saying when we saw this happen, with how Peach dominated the early game, how Abbe suddenly got this kill, this game is already over.
Yeah, and I mean, both Peach and Abbe, these are players that we've praised and talked about a lot, but it feels like from both Fnatic and EXCEL, when junglers can get things done in the early game, usually it's hard to recover from either team. So here it was EXCEL on this side, but we'll see if Razork can come back on the next game. Abbedagge, though. That's the player I want to highlight here. We praise him for improving over the course of the past weeks, and here on the LeBlanc again, I feel like he didn't miss at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of absurd, right? I feel like even from the early lane setup, giving access to Humanoid on that mid gank where Peach, again, you know, going back to that point again, as them both syncing up, he was just really on the money. And I think as soon as he got those kills, a champion like LeBlanc, when you don't really have a side lane answer as well, I feel like I've seen it so many times where she just goes almost 3 levels up just because she's got so much easy access to lane, to wave states on the side rather, and then she brings that to the team fight, and that's exactly what Abba was doing here.
Absolutely.
And for Fnatic yesterday, we praised the fact that objective control, especially, was stellar on their side, and that's what kept the ball running for them. Here, they didn't see a single Drake, they didn't see a single Herald, and I mean, it feels like when you don't have the lane prior that you want, and when laners are snowballing so hard, it's gonna be back to contest these neutral objectives.
It's just so unlikely the Fnatic that we saw from regular season. They used to play through a Razork who was dominating the early game, a bot lane that could take control, but this time around, it was EXCEL on the objective first every single time, and they got every single neutral objective in this game. Fnatic never really got access to it. The only one that was a bit risky might have been this flip and some of the setup, but outside of that, EXCEL gets it every time.
Yeah, I think the reason as well is actually more on Fnatic in my mind. Not to, you know, take away from what EXCEL did in some of these setups, but I feel like with Fnatic, this composition is so well geared to early skirmishing, right? Like sort of at 6, around sort of up to a level 11, and then yes, into this EXCEL comp, you can kind of get picked and torn apart.
But they are a bit slow.
But that's the problem. Yeah, exactly. The fact that they're just way too slow every single time, they don't really get to flex the strength of this composition. This is one of the only times where maybe they could have this fight into the choke is awkward, but then Arbor just 1v9s it again and just hits 3 people.
But that's the
But he should
thing
not be able
here.
to access line that much, and that's the issue.
That is the issue
Exactly.
for sure, because the setup there for EXCEL wasn't really that good.
No.
It's 5 members from each team meeting at the same time in River, not really set up with good vision control, but at this point in the game, the goal difference is just too big. And you can see there from the damage distribution, there's a clear leader.
Yeah, it was all about LeBlanc here.
LeBlanc.
And LeBlanc.
Blank.
I can actually say it right, guys. You can convince me on this
I'm
one.
not getting in the middle of this.
But for me, actually, this LeBlanc pick is going to become an issue because we've been talking about how you should prioritize the OPs and what is worth being banned on blue side and red side. Fnatic is going to play blue side on next one. Yeah, that's the info I have. What do you want to prioritize? Which picks do you want to get rid of based on guess one?
I feel like you drop the rail ban unless, I mean, you drop,
can
sorry, the
deflect.
Jace ban. Maybe you can keep the rail band, right? If you're moving over to blue, you want to force that Jace ban out of EXCEL. I guess it's a bit of an awkward
I
position
think
to
it
be
can
in.
become a hot swap a bit there. I think
Yeah.
the Jace That has to be a red side ban of this series. Unless EXCEL has something prepared for it. I think both mid laners are just too good on that champion right now. But I could see them hot swap that. So the former Jace ban will then become a LeBlanc ban instead. And you can do that on 3 on blue to make sure the adaptation of the bans are not revealed too quickly. But red side will always have that advantage where they will know the full picture and they will decide with their last ban. So it's going to be curious to see what will be led through. But I think it's definitely on Fnatic to find that one OP, because either way, one of them will be led through.
There's also one other thing I want to highlight is Peach on Sejuani or Maokai, right? I think the fact that if you look at his last 6 or 7 games, it's been one or the other. There's like one Trundle game mashed in there somewhere.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about the Trundle game, though.
No.
We don't bring that one up. I'm kind of curious about what the approach will be from Fnatic on whether or not they also think about, if it's not picked up early and Maokai is banned or one of the other is banned, if they want to take Peach off that, because it does feel like that enables EXCEL so just well. I feel like from the early stages, apparently in this game, the Sejuani is being used excellently. And of course, when it comes to the mid-game setups as well, it really did kind of just embolden, again, some of these melee bruisers from the side of EXCEL to continue their moves forward.
Quick hit on what I was saying at the beginning of the desk. We saw the same scenario in yesterday's series. Fnatic getting steamrolled in game 1 and then taking the series in their hands. Do we expect the same scenario here with the understanding we have of both teams?
I think it was so much more difficult, or easier actually, in the series yesterday, because it felt closer at times, whereas this time around, it just felt like Fnatic didn't even connect to that game. So first they got to fix that, then we can talk about the adaptations.
Well, for now, EXCEL continues their impressive performance and strike first in this Do or Die series. We'll be right back after this for game 2.
Abbedagge now coming in to join the fight, but it's 2v4 once again. Abbedagge dashes in. No spells really left as Trymbi flashes forward. No one tanking the tower yet, but Patrik takes one. And Abbedagge is going to answer with 2. Patrik falls. Abbedagge looking for another as he gets his second.
They're very deep.
Can you
Just poke. I stopwatch. Coming. Any flash in. Any no flash.
I'm dead, but everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, kill Trundle. You can.
Kill Trundle. Just play slow if you can. Ezreal. No flash. He's in pig. IB, no IB.
Tries to get away, hooks himself back in, and Abbedagge finds the perfect flank. Oh gosh. He distorts them out of existence, and now no one will join his teammates in the grave.